Hey everybody, Fat Vegan, what's that? So I wanted to bring up a topic of inflation. What is inflation in our country? And do you know? And if you see inflation on the news, and I know I've seen on CNN and NBC, some of these channels, them state that inflation is bad for the wealthy. Let's take a logical thought process to this, please. Who owns assets? The poor, right? All the poor own assets? Oh no, it's all the wealthy. And what happens to assets during inflation? They go down in price. So they all become cheaper because it's inflation. No, they go up in price. Now, notice I'm saying price, not value. But they go up in price. So who actually gets hurt by inflation? The wealthy? Let us consider our options. If I want to buy a house and I'm not wealthy and the price on the house goes up, am I more likely or less likely to be able to afford the house? Which one might it be? So, who gets hurt during inflation? Rich people or poor people? Hello! If you came to the conclusion that poor people are ones getting hurt, congratulations, you have something in between the two ears on the sides of your face. Well done. Now, let us also consider the way inflation is discussed by our government. Doesn't matter whether they're legal, have the right to have the power or not. That's not what we're discussing today. Right now, we're asking the question, when they say inflation, they wanted 2% inflation annually. Consider what that means. If I have 100, right? 100. How many twos are in 100? Anyone? Anyone at all? Maybe 50? In 1971, the United States came off of the gold standard and the petrodollar arose. During this time, inflation skyrocketed. There was nothing tying anything to the dollar. It's just a claim. Now, if the value of this claim had a 2% inflation rate, so you're losing purchasing power when you have an inflation. Remember, we were discussing about this, houses go up, the cost of fuel goes up. That's inflation. So these things are going up. So you're losing purchasing power on the dollar. Consider when inflation hits. Well, we've already had inflation for a long time. They were 1.8%, 2% some years. It fluctuates. So you have to consider all these things. But if these things are considered wisely, at best, if you have your average of 2%, it's 50 years before you have zero value left because we're compounding the interest. So every year they want 2%. So that year you lost 2% of the 100% of the purchasing power, right? Now the next year you've lost another 2%. Now that's 4%. And now the next year you've lost another 2%. Now that's 6%. And so on and so on and so on and so on. So what are they doing to the value of the currency you go and you spend your time to work for? What are they doing to it? Consider wisely, and you'll understand that since the banking system itself declares gold to be a tier 1 asset, which means it's as good as cash, why would I hold cash that's losing purchasing power? Why would I go and get involved in something that can be, I mean, yeah, anyone can come bang down your door and take something from you. They can turn off the internet. Whatever. Okay, fine. So there's a lot of assets that we won't be able to hold on to no matter what we do. Reality is that's government's the biggest thieves out there. That's why originally we had almost the tiniest government, and the men that were in our government owned businesses and went to work during most of the year and only came back for a certain season to vote on things, to deal with issues that, well, obviously the courts are different. They're separate from the bill of the House and some representative. Brain fart. Anyways, the point is you're losing the percentage. You're constantly losing. And they're telling you to your face, we're going to take your value of the dollar that you work for, and you're going to like it. Now, how do you think that that's okay? We're going to take your value at 2%, and you better like it, you little slave. That's the reality. If you want to wake up, I don't want to be a slave. I don't want my children to be slaves. I love this country, but quite frankly, this country doesn't love people who love freedom. There's too many cowards that aren't willing to stand up against the badge-wearing criminals, against the criminals that put on a black suit and step into a room that says, "In God we trust," above them and some state seal. These people are criminals. They're not good, honest, hardworking people, and they don't add value to our community. And they don't mind taking people who work hard, who actually add value, and have only tried their very best to do what's best for their families. They don't mind destroying them. They don't care. And then you have people out there that hear, "Oh, the government said he's a bad person." And you believe them? You brainwash sheep. You never trust the government. If they tell you run east, you better look west. And you better think, maybe I should be heading west. Or just be part of the sheeple and go right on into that slaughterhouse. Fat vegan, y'all. Have a good one. Be safe, please. Please be safe out there. Grow food. Be self-sufficient, y'all. Please wake up before this all comes down on us. Please, I pray that you all wake up, that you all see the truth. There's only one God. A whole food plant-based diet is the healthiest diet for the human race. If you want to eat animal flesh, I'm not going to stop you, but it's not good for you. Oils aren't good for you. I'm not oil free. It's still not good for you. So much stuff, guys. I just hope everyone be safe, please.